Welcome everyone to Palm Zoo Tropical House, a brand new mini-series on the channel where we build a palm tree shaped zoo house housing all the tropical DLC animals and some little surprises. If you're in for that, stick with me and let's get going. Welcome back to the last episode of the Palm Zoo. Today we are bringing in the wonderful Siamang. Yes, it's not an animal that has been released with the last DLC. In fact, we have it already a couple of weeks. But, a couple of months actually, but it fits in very well because it was the animal to bring in the variation. And as you know, the whole point of this La Gibbon thing was to bring the animals to swing through the entire build, and so the Siamangs are just a very obvious choice. Now, there's also going to be a special within my voiceover. I have a voice AI cloning my voice, and you gotta have to find out where it is. I'm gonna say that right away. It's relatively easy, but just make sure to drop a timestamp down below where you found it, and I'm gonna do something with this in the next episode. In the tour, there's gonna be some fun thing with some of you commenting, so make sure to do that. It's a fun little task. I could have made it better, but I just wanted to do it the way it is now because it really is fun. So yeah, keep your ears open. You'll find that. Also, maybe the best hint is it's not sounding as nosy as I am right now because of pollen allergy. That's kind of cool, by the way. I could just use that voice in the future. If I've got allergy or something, it's like, you know what, just leave my other voice without it speaking. Or I could train it with my nosy voice, and we've got always nosy Rudi, you know? Not really sure why you would need that, but I guess it's okay to think about the very much nosy voice as something unique. Okay, I'm trying to put it in a better light than it actually is. Let's speak about today's episode. This episode is featuring the wonderful Siamang as one of the best animals you can have when it comes to tropical houses. These animals love to swing from rope to rope and therefore also enjoy the wonderful coziness and the vibe within a tropical house, making the most of these beautiful animals to be seen by your guests. And I also feel like this can be a good testament to what we've built over here. Simply because I had to fix a lot of issues. I had to fix a lot of things that were not working as intended, and I have not really spent too much time focusing on these things previously. The reason why I did that is relatively easy. I wanted to bring everything together first because I knew some things were broken anyways, and I figured something interesting. I have not noticed that before. I'm not sure if Frontiers changed anything with the climbing system, but it was a bit weird. So most of the climbing frames, if not all, were showing everything as intended. So there were the green indicators in the middle of it all. It was connected. You could see the little bluish areas on the towers. But for whatever weird reasons, the areas at the end of the palm leaf, like we do have these far away areas in which they have some enrichment toys and stuff to make sure that they go there, they were just not connected. And I couldn't figure out what exactly it was until I noticed that the tiniest pieces of the world, and these were the new rope pieces that came with the last DLC, seemed to be able to crash everything. They seem to have a weird hitbox. So you can, like, if you want to know something, don't use these rope pieces at all, even not to detail things. So what I did, and you will see that also later in the episode, that I'm constantly deleting these pieces. I tried to make it look like as if the rope is, you know, tangled around the log or something. So just make it a bit more realistic because, you know, the way I put the ropes in, it always looked a bit weird because they just stick in, but this is how they can climb it. And so I was like, you know, if I go a little bit further down, it should work because it shouldn't block it. But maybe it has something to do with the brachiation. Not entirely sure what exactly is the reason, but I just couldn't pass through, even though the climbing indicator was working. And so I was wondering that maybe it is the normal climbing indicator in which the animals would always walk on top of the climbable asset. So, because brachiation is the only way how animals use the space below the climbable assets. So if you, for example, take the chimpanzees or also the orangutan or whatever other animal, they will always climb above. Always. They will always have the orientation towards the sky. And so everything that is below the climbable asset shouldn't be too much of an issue. So maybe the indicator still calculates that. But with brachiation, obviously, you need a space below the piece as well. Even though I have figured that this seems to be not too much of an issue because they can brachiate even even very, very closely throughout the things, which is pretty cool. And I by God, please never change that frontier. Keep it the way it is. But yeah, I was wondering, maybe that's that. As a little Easter egg, which is not really an Easter egg anymore. First of all, because Easter is gone. And second of all, it's too big to be an Easter egg. I put the 7-Eleven in from our wonderful Asian water monitor episode, making fun of the meme. It's now becoming a meme inside of our building. So we have it as a little cozy corner here. I really found it interesting to explore how this could look. And I'm mega happy with how it all turned out. I'm mega happy because it exactly brings in a vibe that I wanted to achieve for many, many reasons. And I think the 7-Eleven gives us the superb context, so to say, to use exactly that.
Because I really think that a good vibe is badly needed, especially in this build. We have so much going on. It's not clean. It's not tidy. It's a tropical, overgrown environment, and that in itself has a pretty nice feel. So I wanted to translate exactly this feel into the seating areas as well. Yeah, making sure it's an adorable mess, if that makes any sense.
Jesus, that sounded like as if all of my energy and life just left my body for a second. I mean, if you're listening to this point, you shouldn't have too much of a deal to figure something out. I still find it creepy because, you know, if you've listened to that, obviously you guessed it by now. I just used this 2-minute sample to create that. You can upload a sample up until, I don't know, I think you're able to put 2 hours of samples in or even more, and then the accuracy goes beyond crazy. I've done that for like work, and we've done that like really seriously, and oh boy is that crazy how good and how much of a difference that can make. But yeah, that was just a fun little experiment. That said, I'm experimenting a lot with AI at the moment, so if you are interested, please drop a comment down below if you're also into AI tools. Are you using some already? Even for my fellow YouTube friends who may watch this, or people who want to start YouTube, there are plenty of tools that will enable you to rock a lot more than you might have been doing before. Just make sure to drop some comments down below if you are interested in. I'm really looking into making a video how, as a gaming YouTuber, that can be of value. But let's quickly talk about this tree, because oh my god, I'm so happy about how this turned out. I can't even tell you how long it took that I finally could realize the idea. I had this right away when we got this bark piece, as you can see over here. I already had the idea to make a tree that looks almost like as if the bark was peeled off a little bit, because I remember we had these Australian pieces of the you know, bark-free logs, so to say, and I think it just looks beautiful. The final version of it is really cool. We've got a seating area below here. It's looking really good. It obviously is a fake tree, but with the way it looks, I think it's really cool because it just gets that fake tree climbable asset feeling across very nicely. And I think the bark pieces exactly do what they should do, and I'm mega happy. In fact, and this is unfortunately, it's always the same with these types of builds. The more you get towards finishing it, the better you get with what you're doing, because you kind of got a certain flow, a certain learning, you know which pieces work and which don't, and so it's just a lot more natural. And frankly, this last alley, like the last palm leaf, is, in my opinion, the best when it comes to the cleanliness of the look, even though, and that is a very weird phrasing to say because it's all not clean, but by cleanliness of the look, I mean how believable it looks and how nice it looks for what it should be. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. It looks really, really dope. Very detailed, very natural. It all makes a lot of sense, and yeah, I can only be very happy with how it is. There are a couple of little things inside of the habitats that could be better, and I will argue that I do have a new biggest pain point in Planet Zoo. I always thought it might be the pathing, or it might be something about the climbing system. No, my newest biggest pain point in this game is the lack of a second or third or just multiple habitat gate, or a staff-only type of door, barrier, whatever. It is absolutely ridiculous that you have no control over bringing a keeper anywhere else than where the traversable area works for them. So the problem I have in this build specifically, I mean, this is just in Sandbox, and that's the reason it works, but it would never work as a working habitat, because these animals would basically die out of starvation, simply because the only chance for them to eat is in this center part, because that's legit the only area where our keepers can go. The cleanliness of the habitats would be insane because they couldn't get rid of it. There would be a chance to do that, but that is awfully complicated, and also it just wouldn't work necessarily, because it would also imply that the animals can roam free all of the time, and I had to ensure somehow that they don't, but it just doesn't work, because with some animals it works. Like, okay, so it's relatively easy for all animals that have a bigger demand in space than the keeper. So if you have the smallest opening for a keeper, which is, if I remember correctly, the normal door, like the door frame from the 4-meter pieces, from the wall pieces, that door frame is the smallest possible opening you can have for a keeper. And as long as the animal doesn't fit, and even with the juveniles, they don't fit through that gate, and unfortunately that's not too many animals. I think it's the hippo, some bears, and the crocs, even though the baby crocs do fit through, so that's again not working. So it doesn't really fit on too many animals, but some of the animals work, so you can make nice areas for hippos, for example, because you can still make the keeper get everywhere without them getting everywhere. I just need a stuffed door. That's all I need. Just making sure that the animals can't pass through. I thought I'd find a solution by doing a weird workaround, but it doesn't really exactly work the way. Maybe I can fix it. There is a little issue I still have with that, and I'm not entirely sure if it works 100% of the times, but especially in this build, it just was obvious again how much of a pain it is to build multiple layer habitats. And I've seen so many great things on Reddit lately of people who are super talented in the community as well, who have built insanely nice areas, especially for the Lagebon, with like different levels and how they can swing across the pathway and stuff like that. But the only thing I saw was like, oh my god, that just doesn't work in any kind of franchise or challenge mode, because the animals would basically starve, because, you know, you can't get it clean, you can't get the food in certain places, and this is just it. I think this is one of the most important things to be fixed in the future. Honestly, it's really a big pain, in my opinion. The more I play the game, the more I try to get creative, the more it becomes an issue. There's always a workaround, and that's just by disabling every need, but that's not my target. And especially for Zoo Sicily, it doesn't work, because we do have the, animal requirements on. Anyways, let's move into the game. Look at that, there's a Siamang just passing by us. Let's see if it's already doing a little swingy swing here, a brachiation. Unfortunately, like the Lagebons do it quite often. I haven't seen the Siamang doing it that often in the free space here. They do it, so don't worry, it's not like a big deal, but they do it. Yeah, very nice. It's actually really nice that it all works just fine. Let's go into the space that we've created now, the new one. We are here at the entrance of our wonderful palm. As I said, it's not going to be a full tour. That looks like as if someone is broken out and just... No, it's not. Okay, I thought they were like running free. Some of them just sometimes do that, but... Like, oh my god, look at that. Woo! It's a goal. Swing the swing. Yeah, it just works really good now, because they do... Oh, look at that. There's the next one. It's exactly as I wanted it. That makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. Look at that. Just come in. You see the animals do that. And there is another one in the back. And the more you look around, you can see them all swing by. And I might even put even more in, because it's such a huge space now that it doesn't look weird if they just do swings. Oh, look at that. There is another one coming. This is exactly what I meant. It's so cool if they just do that in front of you or above your head. And yeah, it just makes a lot of sense. The idea just turned out to be working fine. But yeah, as I promised, we have to go into that area here, just in front of us. And it's a bit different, because as you can tell, I did a couple of things in a different way. There's even like a netting above us to make sure that they don't come here. It's, it's the idea turned out to be working quite well. There's like a little bit of an enrichment item on this side. There's a bit more of a free space. This is what I meant. There's a little bit of detail lacking on this side here. But honestly, though, it's just like a little bridge project. So that needed to be here in order to bring them to the other side. The focus was made or was set on that area here. And just look at this. It looks so good. I love it. There's like a sprinkler in the back, and especially this part there in the center looks really dope. And as I said, this is the tree. I'm a big fan of that tree. It looks really cool. It looks super cool, and I really like. I would 10 out of 10 sit down here and grab a little whatever food or drink or not. The only issue I have is I made a connection over here to make sure we see a lot of brachiation happening. This one is a perfect brachiation rope, but that also means that they are basically not going onto the tree anymore. I have to maybe put like an enrichment item on top of there to make them go there. You've got some little lovely benches here. Look at that. I mean, just look at this one with the sun coming up on the... Oh, it looks so good. I just want to sit down here. Let's quickly do that, okay? Just gonna here and... Oh, look at that. Oh, just chill here. See how the Siamang is just making its way somewhere else. Where are you going? Come on, do the little brachiation for us here. That would be awesome. You not? Okay, maybe this is because of the fence here. So yeah, oh, look at that. It's so good. So good. Yeah, and stand up again, and we can see there's like a little bit of a bigger climbing frame. This is like a little bit of a climbing area for them. There is something to drink hidden nicely in there. There are some enrichment items hidden in here. So the more animals I put in, the more they will hopefully use this space. And I gotta say that overall, the climbing, and I stay by what I said. I think that the climbing overall has received an overhaul with the brachiation. It's a lot more stable. Yes, you do see a lot of glitching still, like this, for example, but it's by far not as bad anymore. And it looks, for the most part, and it looks really good. They have a way better touch when it comes to where they put their hands and feet. It's a lot more stable, and it's a lot more enjoyable, and I think the times where it really works far outweigh now the times where it does lack a little bit of accuracy and stuff. And yeah, just in general, I am a freaking huge fan of this space in here. You can see one running down. You can stay here and have a look, and just in general make sure that make the most of the time you are in this area. Gosh, I also especially love this view. Can we just get the sun in a little bit nicer? Is that a way to get this? It's such a pain with the sun here, to be honest. Like, this works, this looks kind of cool, this is a kind of cool view here, but it's really like, this is the only negative that you do really have this pain always. It's a bit unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie, it's really unfortunate, but it's what we have to deal with. It's just not possible in a different way, but yeah, I'm just positive that it still looks good for you, especially when you move around. I think it's fine. The more you have to take screenshots, the more of a pain it becomes to utilize this area. The shadow is just not looking as good, but yeah, so that's what we have to deal with. Let's just jump out of this camera and go into the free look mode, because I promised you to look at a certain couple things. Yeah, I mean, just look at this area in general. I think it's really good. Wait, let me just quickly capture that frame real quick, because it looks really dope. It looks really good. I cannot say what is the best part of it, and I think as soon as this point is reached, I can be happy, because that's exactly what I needed. But yeah, so this is that area. Let's just oh my god, does it swing over? Yes, I need to. Oh my god, I need to keep that. This is always important, because they do it so seldom that I need to exactly see. Can I bring you into the sunlight? Maybe I can get some artifaci, kind of a little bit. This looks kind of okay to me, even though I have to see how I can make this look good. You can't see the depth of field, but I can, so I'm just playing around a little bit with the depth of field right now. I'm just trying to make sure that this really looks cool. I think that's what we're getting. This is really good. This is really nice. And maybe you can get this frame in. Yeah, there you go. Let's just hit play for a second again and see if it comes a little bit closer. Yeah, I mean, the brachiation just looks so cool. It looks so good now that we can finally have it in a free way and not be restricted to the climbing frame. It just is. It's just miles better. It's just miles better. Yeah, so this is that area. As I said, I'm a big fan of this area, so you can also have like a little peek in here like this, just like very much like so. It's such a cool
frame, just in general, like the climbing frames and stuff in here looks really good. But if we zoom out of this entire thing, let me just get that. You can see the whole build in itself is almost done. Let me just put that to midday. And the only thing that's not done is the front. So I'm just willing to finish that off. Also willing to put a little bit of plants around, get rid of like this stuff, get rid of this stuff, like all the little things and so on. And then we are gone. We're done. We're gone. We're done. We're not gone. We're done. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really, really good. And I'm gonna upload this to the workshop. We're gonna make like a little tour. We're gonna have some fun. And then this is all yours. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this series so far. I must say I really enjoyed it a lot. I'm super happy that I decided to do a little extra series, a mini series, and did not cramp that all into Zoo Sicily, because I also don't think that all of the animals fit into Zoo Sicily, frankly. And I have to say that I'm very much more happy with the fact that I focused on the quality build in Sicily instead. So yeah, with all that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, the little experiment with the AI voice. And also make sure to follow me around here, and please subscribe if you haven't already. We are only 40 subs away from 80k. Let's do this, please. That would actually finish the project that we, by the end of the DLC, we are at 80k. That was my target, so we can reach it. If this episode makes me reach 80k, that'd be awesome. So thank you so much for your ongoing support. Have a lovely weekend, and make sure to be here tomorrow, because something big is launching. If you follow me on Twitter, you already know, but it's gonna be big. So be there or be square. See you, bye.